Good morning. How is everybody today? I'm Shelly from Art from My Table, where I share real food recipes and help you get real delicious food on the table, minimally processed. Good morning, welcome. So today we're going to talk about side dishes for Thanksgiving, and I'm going to share a leftover recipe with you too that we really enjoy having every week. So, because it's all about Thanksgiving these days, right? So, hi, welcome. Hi, Valerie. So, I gotta do my little, I have people that need notifications really quick, so I'm gonna go in and do that. I wish I could automate it, but, so while I'm doing that, let me know where you're watching from. And this should just take me a second. Well, maybe a minute. All right. You guys, oh, Valerie's from Eastern Canada. Wow. What's the weather like today in Canada? All right. Almost done. Indiana. Hi, Katie. How are you? Pouring rain. Yuck. Illinois. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. East Moline. I don't know if I know where that is in Illinois. It's not raining here. It's cold. I don't even know what the temperature is. What's
really cold.
My son rode his bike to orchestra. He's like, it's really cold. So, but it's definitely very gray out today. And that's kind of typical, I guess, for this time of year. Not always. I always appreciate it when the sun is out. I feel like it gives me a lot more energy, but...
It's 38.
38, that's our temperature. The Michigan summers, they're pretty... Michigan winters are pretty gray and cold. Michigan summers are awesome. So... Okay, this is my last one, and then we'll get going. So I drink a lot of coffee in this kind of weather. Well, actually, you know what? I drink a lot of coffee all the time. That probably doesn't really matter that much. All right. So, okay, so we're going to get started. Our first side dish is Brussels sprouts they're going to be roasted Brussels sprouts with balsamic reduction. It's actually a balsamic pomegranate reduction. And I just need to know if we have any Brussels sprout haters in the house, because I used to be a Brussels sprout haters, and this was the recipe that made me a convert. So, if you hate Brussels sprouts, or maybe just dislike, hate's kind of a strong word, give me a thumbs up. And if you love Brussels sprouts, give me, I can't even do it, a heart. So give me a heart. 3 hours southwest Chicago. Oh, hi, Julie. Yeah, Illinois. So that's still a good portion away. We're about 3-4 hours from Chicago, actually, too, but another state. So anyway, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to sharpen my knife really quick. I saw some hearts going by. We have some Brussels lovers. This recipe is really good. So a few years ago on Thanksgiving, I'm just going to sharpen my knife really quick. I want to be able to see that so that I can read the comments, okay? But you can go ahead and get it up so that I can see it. That'd be awesome. My son is always assisting me in the kitchen here on Fridays. So, all right. Got my knife sharpened. I like to sharpen a little bit. I got a thumbs up from Kristen. So, a few years ago, we tried to grow some Brussels sprouts in our garden, and we did have kind of a mild fall, and we sort of forgot about them, and it was Thanksgiving Day, and my husband went out for something else. Hi, Mai! And he came back in with Brussels sprouts. He was like, yeah, I just thought we would cook these up really quick. So he found a recipe, and then this is kind of what became of it. We sort of adapted it. But I was like, yeah, whatever. Even when we planted them, I was like, yeah, Brussels sprouts. I don't know, I like my cabbage cold, whatever. But they are really, really good. And I tried them, I was like, wow. And all my kids like them. So first thing you want to do is trim. Can you guys see this okay? Trim the stem off, and then you cut them in half. So you have these little halves like this. And I started a tray over here, so I'm going to bring that over. And kind of whatever, sometimes there's like a couple leaves on the outside that are just sort of wilted. They'll just sort of fall right off when you do that, and that's fine. All right. Oh, let's get that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. There's a little bit of delay. I can see it when you guys comment. I can see it much better on the computer screen than I can on the phone, but there is a little bit of a delay. So good morning, everyone. All right, so just a heads up, I do have both the recipes that I'm going to be doing today. They are listed in the description of this video. So if you're catching it on the replay, or sometimes when you're watching it live, you can't always see that piece of it, that afterwards you'll be able to see that. So that'll be easy. And if you share this to your timeline, that'll be really easy for you to find and reference back to again, because a lot of different things go out on my Art from My Table Facebook page. So you have to do a lot of scrolling. But if you do it to your timeline, you'll be able to see it. So feel free to share. Hi, Patricia. You can't see what I'm doing. Okay. Thank you for telling me that. Can you see if I'm right here? So all I'm doing right now is just slicing some Brussels sprouts in half, and I'm putting them on a tray. And I'm going to show you a little bit more with that. I started some earlier today, so I'm just going to kind of finish these up. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, Patricia said, okay, that's my delay. So going back and forth between them. So yeah, and maybe if you know a Brussels sprout hater, you should send this video to them. They'll be convert, I promise. Actually, it's funny because someone else too, this is a recipe I shared a few weeks ago when we were at the Country Living Fair, and we were able to offer samples to our audience, and I had some people that are like, yeah, I don't like Brussels sprouts, but I'm going to try these, and they tried them and they're like, wow, they're really good. So this is like my big conversion, Brussels sprout conversion recipe. So, all right. Also, oh yeah, I want to tell you guys this too. In the description of this video, put the camera down a little. Okay, that I will do that. I'll see if I can adjust that a little bit. Give me 1 second, because I only got one more Brussels sprout to do, but then it'll be important to see the rest. Oh yes, so I want to let you guys know that in the description of this video also, I put a link. If you want, I have a book of 9 must-try Thanksgiving recipes, and so they're all like together from the turkey to the dessert. They're all there, so that's in the description as well. And if you sign up for that, that'll just get delivered to your email, just as a gift for you guys. Okay, see if I'm gonna walk around and see if I can adjust that camera a little bit. This is the thing, I have to like go back and forth to see. Oh, now I'm a little crooked. Is that better, Patricia? Thank you for telling me. I really appreciate it. I'm going to set this aside a minute. Josh, will you grab the olive oil out of that pantry? Sure. Okay, so I know you can't see the whole pan. Let's see. Let's try to move it down just a little bit more. Patricia keeps... Wait, what am I doing? how am I not getting this right this week? I've never had this issue before. Oops. Still cannot see. Thanks, Hope. I'm working on it. So you guys can't see this. Okay, I'm seeing in here. So if I move it back as I look at my, sorry, I get those close-ups. Okay, so hopefully you can see this a little bit better. Still can't see it. Okay, but I adjusted it again, so hopefully that's better. Anyways, this is just olive oil, and I'm going to just drizzle these with some olive oil. And then I'm just going to do salt and pepper. You could do whatever seasonings you want. I really feel like the balsamic reduction has just so much yummy flavor that I keep the seasoning on. It's really simple, but you can play around with it. Okay, I think that looks better. You can't see the whole tray, but you can see most of it, right? Thanks, Julie. Julie says fine. Okay, thank you.
Better.
Thanks, Hope. I appreciate you guys telling me that. Because when I'm looking into the phone, like the lower part of it is shaded, so it is hard for me to see exactly what's going on. So a little bit of pepper, and now I'm just going to toss these. And did I tell you what we were making? I did. Okay. These are roasted Brussels sprouts with balsamic pomegranate reduction. And so I'll tell you how to do a nice, thick, syrupy sauce. I feel like these need a little more oil. All right. And you can get your hands messy too and get right in here and toss them if you want to. So once you put them in the oven, I try to just spread them out a little bit so that they have a little air in between them. And then they're going to go in a 400-degree oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. You know, ovens kind of vary a little bit, so it'll kind of just be dependent on that, but that's about the right time you can count them. And I think too, if you have convection, it might go a little less than that, so we'll just keep our eye on it. And I'm just gonna have my handsome assistant put these in the oven for me. There you go. Top oven, yep. And then can you set the timer for 20 minutes and we'll check them at that time?
Sure.
So while we're waiting for that, we're going to talk a little bit about our pizza. So we're going to do a leftover turkey. You know what, Miss Julie, swim teacher.
Oh.
What do you call her, Miss Julie? Yeah. Okay. I was going to say Mrs. Roach, but hi, Julie. How are you? So okay. So I have a homemade pizza crust hack that I'm going to share with you today. And I love homemade pizza crust. We do the traditional kind with the yeast and the flour and the water and all that. The olive oil, we definitely do that too. But this is like a nice, quick and easy 2-ingredient pizza crust hack that actually is good for you because it has yogurt in it. So I'm going to pull over my KitchenAid here. I know you won't be able to see in the bowl, but I'll at least have it come together and then I'll show it to you. So what we're going to use for this is a cup of Greek yogurt. And so this is what gives your crust an extra boost of protein and probiotics. So yogurt is really good for you. Greek yogurt has just been strained and it does have a higher amount of protein in it. So we're going to do that and flour, and that's it. Those 2 ingredients is what is going to make this pizza crust hack, like I like to say. Okay, so I have this in the KitchenAid. Now you could totally stir this and do it by hand. That's fine. I love my KitchenAid, so I'm going to let it do the work for me. I have the dough hook on. We're just going to let that stir, and it'll just take a minute. What I do, I don't want flour shooting out the sides there. Okay. That's going to take a minute when it's coming together. So, while we're waiting for that, what are you guys doing this weekend? Do you have any great plans? We are going to a play tonight. We're going to go see The Lion King. My a couple of my kids have been involved in a homeschool performing arts program, and they sort of have two age groups. So the younger is the 8 to 12-year-olds, and then they have an older group, which is junior high and high school. But it kind of varies depending on what play they're doing. So my son this year is going to be in Seussical, and that is the main stage with the older kids. But tonight is the younger kid one, which is Lion King. So
We're excited.
the kids are excited to go see the Lion King.
I
Yeah.
saw
So it'll be
part of it
cute, and they
last
do
night.
them really. They're like 45 minutes to an hour, so like even little younger ones can just really enjoy it. There's enough going on, and it's so fun. So how much flour, Cheryl? A cup and a half, and you can adjust that a little bit too if you want. If it feels too dry, just do a little less or add a little more yogurt to it. It's really, really flexible recipe. So, but I do a cup and a half of flour to 1 cup of yogurt. You can also use whole wheat flour, or you can use a blend of whole wheat and regular. I've done it both ways. I just posted on our website a white pizza, and I used the same pizza crust hack, but I used it with whole wheat pizza, or whole wheat flour. So you can totally do either or. I do like to use if I'm using a white flour, I like to use some sort of a whole grain flour with, that's unbleached. That's my preference. So, all right. So now this has mostly come together. I'm just going to pull it together a little bit more with my hands. You can see how it is here. And then this does not require a lot of kneading. It doesn't require you to have it, let it rise. So that's why I call it a hack. And it kind of has, you know how yogurt has a little bit of a tangy kind of sour, it sort of just reminds me of like a sourdough crust. It's really good. Now you can cook this in the oven. That's what we're going to do today. But you can also do this in a cast iron skillet. And so this recipe, you'll see if you go to our site, you'll see that I actually cook it in a cast iron skillet. The recipe on there. So, all right. Whoops, I'm flinging pizza crust. Here we go. So here's my ball of dough, and then I didn't flour this, but it's not too sticky. It's not gonna stick. But you could, if you need to, just do a floured surface. And I just kneaded a little bit just to get it to come together really nice. Super duper easy. And then you would just roll it out like you would a normal pizza dough. So you can do it, today I did it on we're doing a pizza stone, but you can do just a regular tin pizza pan. You can do it in a rectangle on a sheet pan. You can do it in your cast iron pan. So, see? There it is, not falling apart. And it's not like most pizza doughs can be like a little bit stretchy, so it's not super stretchy, like you can pull it apart, but it actually bakes up really, really nice. So, oh, spaghetti squash soup. Oh, not good. Oh, it wouldn't blend well. Okay, well, hey, thanks for trying that out for us, Carrie. I'm so glad you came back to tell me that. Okay. Now, I prepared a crust earlier. What I like to do is roll it out, and then I like to pre-bake my crust a little bit because I like things a little bit more on the crispy side. And it's not totally crispy, but just to have that crisp outer edge. So what I do is I roll out the crust, I prick it with a fork just a little bit, and then I put it in a 400-degree oven for 10 minutes. And then that just kind of par bakes it a little bit. So I did that earlier today. So here is my crust, and I'm just using a pizza stone this time. And it's, you know, it's par baked. It's not all the way done, but it's not sticking. It's kind of nice. So make sure you guys can see it. Good. All right. So now we're going to do our leftover recipe. I'm just going to slice up some turkey here. So last week we did a Thanksgiving turkey. I gave you all my secrets for perfect turkey. And what I did was I froze some turkey so I could show you a leftover recipe today. I don't even need to cut this. This is so tender and delicious. So you can do turkey pot pie, turkey sandwiches. Do you guys have a favorite leftover turkey recipe? I would love to hear it. Type it in the comments. We love turkey pot pie. It's like total comfort food. But I really love this pizza as well. So the kids were really excited this morning before my girls are in school, and they were like, "Are we having pizza for dinner?" It's Friday night, so of course it's pizza night. No favorite Thanksgiving leftovers? Do you have leftovers? Maybe you don't have leftovers. I like to have leftovers for my pizza or for leftover recipes. I just like to enjoy that turkey like more than once. Okay, how many Black Friday shoppers do we have here? I kind of a party pooper. I'm not a Black Friday shopper. I think because I don't really need anything. We don't really do a lot of gifts, so there's nothing that, you know, I also don't really want to fight the crowd, but I used to, no way, Tina says no way. No way to the Black Friday shopper. Or no way to the leftovers. I did ask a couple questions there. Anyway, not me. You guys must be talking about Black Friday shopping. So me either. I can remember a really long time ago. I'm not sure if I had kids yet. I think I did, but they were probably quite one. When I went with some friends, and you know, the whole experience of like getting up early, getting an awesome cup of coffee, and like walking around with friends, I have to say that is actually fun. That would be the reason. Pauline says not me. Yeah, that would be the reason I would do it. It's not really so much about getting a good deal. I don't know. And you know, nowadays you can just buy so much online anyways, right? It's so convenient. And nowadays they open on Thanksgiving, which is crazy. Okay, so here's my turkey. Let's see if I can make room for that. And here's what we're gonna put on our pizza. Instead of pizza sauce, we're gonna use cranberry sauce. We like turkey and dumplings with leftovers. That sounds so good. Turkey enchiladas. You know, I was just thinking about making huevos rancheros with turkey. I thought that would be really good. I love like anything Mexican is amazing. It's my favorite. If I had to eat one thing every day, it'd probably be guacamole or something like that. Favorite leftover turkey enchiladas. Okay. So last week I showed you how to make homemade cranberry sauce, and so you can go back and watch that if you want to. But this is super simple. It's cranberry sauce, cranberry juice, cranberries, and sugar. But I actually use like a stevia-based sweetener in mine because I just try not to eat too much sugar. So more turkey enchiladas.
I've never had turkey enchiladas.
So here's a tip when you're making pizza, and I tell you this, but I'm also going to tell you that I kind of struggle with this. Don't put too much sauce on your pizza. Get some sauce on the side. If you like it really saucy, get it on the side, because if you get too much sauce on your pizza, it prevents it from cooking all the way through. It's just sort of more heavy, and it'll be like more wet rather than really nice and crisp. So I say that, but I do have a hard time holding back on the toppings. So there's our cranberry sauce. Oh, something fun about this too. You know, when I did the turkeys last week, I actually did 3 turkeys because I wanted to show you different stages of it. And so we had some neighbors over for dinner, and they were like, yeah, we don't really like cranberry sauce. And I was like, well, is that because you have it from a jar or you just don't like cranberries? So anyways, turns out he was like, I'm going to try some of it. And he tried it, and he thought it was awesome. So I think there is something to homemade cranberry sauce. Light sauce always. Tina, you got it. Okay, so now I'm going to put my cheese on. This is Monterey Jack cheese. Of course, you can use your favorite kind, but I tend to like something white on this, and I'm going to use 2 different cheeses. But you could still do, you know, a traditional like mozzarella. That would be fine. I just really like Monterey Jack. And then put our turkey on. Nice big chunk pieces. Josh, are you excited for lunch?
Yeah?
We get to have some for lunch.
Oh, there's something I want to tell you also later.
Okay.
It just like came to my mind.
I know how that goes. All right. Can you refresh that or pull it down because I can't see myself in there and I need to see it. I need to make sure that people can see. All right, and then we're gonna do walnuts. Yum. So these are, I'm just gonna kind of break them. You can loosely chop them if you want. I'm doing about a 1/2 cup, but you know, with pizza, it kind of varies. I think I always say it's a loose recipe because sometimes it just depends on what you like. And what's nice about these is they're in the oven just long enough to get like a nice toasty flavor to them. So toasted nuts are so yummy. So walnuts are really easy to crush too. So you can rough chop them if you want, or just kind of crush them up and put them on there. And then we're gonna do some rosemary, some fresh rosemary. So with rosemary, a really easy way to get the little leaves off is just pull it the opposite way, down like this. Tina says, I'm trying this, never thought of turkey topping. It's good. You know what else would be good, since everyone's saying turkey enchilada? What about like a turkey enchilada pizza? That would be really good. So, okay. So I have my little rosemary leaves, and I'm just going to sprinkle them on here. You can chop them if you want, but I really don't think it's necessary. How are they looking?
Really good.
Good. I know, they smell good. They smell good. And I love fresh rosemary. You could do any, I think sage would be really nice on here too, but there's just something about fresh herbs that I love. Okay. And then last, I'm going to do just a little light sprinkling of my Monterey Jack on top, but I'm also going to add some goat cheese. I think gorgonzola or blue cheese would also work really nicely on here. It kind of just depends if you're a cheese lover or not. So I know some people just really don't care for like those strong cheeses, but oh, I love it. I'm like, the stinkier the better. Bring on the cheese. So this is just some crumbled goat cheese. I love to buy it at Costco because they have like 2 huge logs and it's a really decent price. And did you know that you can freeze cheese? So I'll buy 2, it comes like in a 2-pack, and then I'll put one in the fridge to use, and then one will go in the freezer. And then when I use up the one, I just let it thaw in the fridge, and it works out great. So this actually came from my freezer. I got it out yesterday. So, hi Debbie, great recipes from Huntsville, Alabama. I should look on there where I can see better.
Yep, AL.
Thank you for joining us. Alabama, is it nice there? I keep thinking about, as the closer my husband gets to retirement, I keep thinking about moving to a warmer climate. I'm just cold all the time. Even, we have like a wood stove. I'm still cold. All right. So here's our turkey cranberry pizza. Whoops. We'll get that. No worries. Put that right back on. And I'm going to stick this in the oven. This is going to go 400 degrees for 10 minutes. Be right back. Thanks. We have a few more minutes on our Brussels sprouts just to check them. 10. Thank you. So we're going to work on the garnish for our Brussels sprouts, which is not necessary, but kind of festive and fun. So let's get that out of the way. Okay. Do you guys know how to cut a pomegranate? Give me a thumbs up if you know how to cut a pomegranate. They're little, some people might say intimidating.
Jana said the pizza looked pretty.
It's so pretty, isn't it? It's very festive looking. Okay, so here's pomegranate. I got a thumbs up, thumbs up. Anybody not know how to cut one? First thing you want to do is take this little like flowery stem piece out with a paring knife. First thing you want to do is put your apron on so you don't ruin your clothes. Or that's just me. So, because it has a tendency to stain. Okay. Now, there's a couple ways. I've seen a couple different ways to actually cut pomegranates. I'm just going to do it straight up without water. Like, there's several tutorials online. And some of them, like for pulling the seeds out, once you cut it, you can actually immerse, like just put it all in a bowl of water and you can just pull the seeds right out. And then all the white pith stuff will float to the top. So that's one tip. It's also, it's less like spraying a pomegranate juice. So, but if you do this right, you shouldn't have a lot of spraying. So I will be the first to admit I'm not an expert at cutting pomegranates. I don't do it all the time, but I do know how to do it. So we'll just see how today goes. All right? Okay. I need to peek at my Brussels sprouts. Give me 1 second here. How about cancel the timer and put it on for 2 more minutes?
All right.
And then we're going to pull it out. Okay, so we're just going to go in here with paring knife, and I'm just going to kind of go at an angle and get that out.
Like a pumpkin.
Yeah, kind of like a pumpkin. That's kind of what it feels like. Okay, just took it off. That's all. Now we're going to score the sides, and if you look at a pomegranate straight on, you can see sort of these flat sides. It's not perfectly round. So what you want to do on these ridges, I don't know really what to call them. You want to just kind of score it around. I don't know, can you guys see that? I feel like it's hard to see in the camera. Anyways, I'm just going to score it wherever there's sort of a flat area. You're usually going to have about 6 cuts in it, but it does sometimes vary on the pomegranate. Yeah, I feel like that one's... I think I got an extra cut in there. Oh well. Okay, like I said, not an expert, but Jana says underwater in a bowl, done many different ways. Yep. Yeah, I know. So is that like your favorite way? Underwater in a bowl. And now all I'm going to do, I'm going to just use my thumbs and pull it apart. And see how that comes apart? Just like that. And my little seeds are popping right out. These are called arils. Would you go ahead and get those out, honey, and you can just set them on the oven behind me.
All right.
And we'll get to that in a minute. So, let me grab a bowl here, guys. It's kind of a large bowl for this, but... So you can get in there and pick them out with your fingers. This is where you could put this whole bowl into water. I'm going to start with the smaller one. This is one thing I've heard that I actually haven't tried. They say you can just knock them out. They're falling out a little bit, but I kind of feel, this kind of feels weird. Okay. So you just kind of pull them back and those seeds will fall right out. So I'm just sort of pulling it back like this. And the other thing, like if you don't want to get stains or anything, you just put them in a bowl of water like we talked about. But this definitely will stain your clothes. Oh, but they're so good. So, so good. Okay, so our Brussels sprouts are finished.
They're really hot.
They're really hot. That's okay. We like to eat our food hot. So do one more of these and then I'll jump to that because you kind of get the idea. This white pith stuff is the stuff that if you do it in a bowl of water, it will just float to the top. So, thanks for the heart. And this is why I need to wear an apron. All right. So I'm just going to clear some space here, and I will bring over my tray of Brussels sprouts. Do you want to, actually, yeah, I'm going to grab a trivet for me.
Sure.
And then the oven mitts. I don't want to burn myself, not today. Today's not a good day. All right. So these are nice and crispy. So you can see some of these darker ones, like these were just leaves that fell off. And so they got really brown and they're actually really good. It's kind of like chips. But they're nice and golden on top. And that's exactly where we want them. So I'm just gonna scoop them on this platter. I was so excited yesterday. I was at Costco and they had a big bag of Brussels sprouts. So I was like, awesome. I was looking online at Meijer, which is our local grocery store. If you guys are in the Midwest, I'm sure you've heard of Meijer, but yeah, I was looking there for Brussels sprouts just online, and all they had was frozen or like what did they call it? Brussels sprouts steamin'. No, shred, I don't know. I couldn't tell what it was. I was like, ugh, I don't risk it. So I was going to use my shopping service to save me time, and I was like, you know what, I just am going to go to Costco. So I thought, I can't find it there. I'll go to Meijer, but luckily, Costco had them. So that was awesome. Okay, so what I did yesterday, probably don't need that now. Not yesterday, this morning. What I did this morning was made a balsamic reduction. So if you've never made a reduction before, I use a half a cup of balsamic vinegar, a half a cup of pomegranate juice, and a couple of tablespoons of honey. You can use sugar, you can use a different sweetener, it's totally up to you. And I reduce it to about half. So depending on how much you're gonna need for whatever you're using it for, you can, you know, increase that recipe or decrease that recipe. It's really delicious on so many things, not just this, but on other vegetables as well. And this would even be good on a pizza. There's so many options. So potatoes, of course, that's a vegetable as well. Roasted vegetables. It'd be great on top of like chicken or meat. It's just really delicious. So what you do is you take those things, put them in a pan, and then you want to bring it up to a boil. And then I lower the temperature a little bit. I still want it to be boiling, but it doesn't have to be going crazy. And you'll want like your little kitchen fan on because it's a strong smell. I don't think it smells bad because I like vinegar, but it's a strong smell. So you'll do that, and then you want it to get to the point where it is like covering the back of the spoon. So it's going to get thicker and syrupy, but it will become even more thick when it cools. So just keep that in mind. So yeah, the best way to describe it is that when you're doing it, you can take your spoon out and the liquid, it's not totally sticking to it, but it is like covering it. Okay, so then you can take that out.
All right.
And turn off the timer. Okay, so here is my sauce or my reduction, and I'm just going to drizzle that on here. We're having a good lunch today. Turkey pizza and Brussels sprouts.
How do I get it out?
We could even put these on our pizza. See, we're coming up with all kinds of ideas. I'm gonna grab the pizza, 1 second. Okay. Yum! Does that look good? All yummy melty cheese. That was just 10 minutes. So I did par-bake the crust for 10 minutes, and then I did the pizza for 10 minutes. So I'll set this aside and finish the Brussels sprouts for you. Okay, so I've drizzled my sauce on the Brussels sprouts, and now I'm going to garnish with our pomegranate arrows. So this is really a festive one too, I think, for Thanksgiving and Christmas. Just the red and the green. And you could use as many or as little as you like, but I'm trying to tilt it without, I know, I think I need to get a better tripod is what I need to do. So can you guys see that? Yum. Okay. There's a little bit of delay on my monitor here, so yeah, looks like you can see it. So there's your Brussels sprouts. You want to try one?
Yes.
I'm gonna try one too. The sauce. It'll make you a convert if you don't like Brussels, I'm telling you. And if you like Brussels, you're gonna love this. So good. Okay. Let's pull my pizza over. I don't know where my pizza cutter is. So my kids are really awesome because they empty the dishwasher.
Where's the cloth?
It's right here, hon. They are great about, we don't have chores at our house. We have family contributions. So they are great at contributing to the family. But things don't always get put back in exactly the right spot. So, yum yum. Thanks, Tina. It is really good. What happened to my trivet, man? Did I move it?
You asked me to.
Oh, silly me. All right, let's put that over here, and I'm going to bring the pizza over.
All right.
I'm so hungry. All right, now I have this on a trivet, which the pizza stone is bigger, so hopefully I don't like flop the pizza over, but I just want to keep the counter safe. Pizza cutters are great. When I was a kid, we didn't have pizza cutters. We used kitchen shears, and that works great too. So, yeah, I kind of thought that was going to happen. All right. But it's so hot, I don't want to put it on my counter yet. Crust is perfectly crisp to my liking anyways. So do this on a flat surface, not on a trivet, and then you won't have to worry about that little flopping. But the thing about pizza stones is they're so hot. So, and they stay hot for a while. There we go. All right. I wish you guys could, like, be here in my kitchen and have some pizza with me. Wouldn't that be so much more rewarding? What's that, Joshua?
Like last week you were talking about smell-o-vision. We need taste-o-vision.
Taste-o-vision, yeah. I'm gonna get my corners here. Sorry, guys. I didn't quite get through that crust. Probably because I'm not doing this on a firm surface like you should. But there we go. Yum! Pizza and Brussels sprouts. I can't think of a better lunch. There you go.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for joining. If you guys have any questions, you can leave it in the comments and I'll be sure to keep going. If you're catching the replay, I still will get any feedback that you have or comments, questions that you have. And just to remind you, if you want the free book of Thanksgiving recipes, the link is in the description of this video and you can click on that and sign up and it will get emailed right to you. And it's got 9 different recipes in it, from the turkey to the dessert. And I think that's it. If you want to keep seeing my videos, then it's a great idea to like my page and subscribe so that you get notified when I go live. And I typically do go live every Friday at 11 a.m. And next week, Friday, I will be taking the day off, I think. Tina's on her way, woo! Okay, so I'm just not sure with Black Friday and all of my people will be home, my 4 children. So I don't know. I'm kind of not planning on it, but I may pop in impromptu. But other than that, 2 weeks from now, then you'll see it. Pauline, thank you. Aw. Thank you so much, Pauline. You have no idea. Like, that just means the world to me. Thank you so much. So you guys have an awesome Thanksgiving. Have an awesome weekend. I know Thanksgiving's almost a week away, but it's the thing, right? So have a great weekend. Have fun cooking. And I will see you next time. Take care.